Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 335 of McRae Live. The date today is, It's Tuesday, June the 3rd, 2025, 7:09 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. My name is Dave McRae, coming to you live from the Voice Man Studios in Toronto, Canada. Ow! How you guys doing? One has got to go. I'm going to give you a list of 4 horror movies, and you got to get rid of one. Get rid of it. It's gone. You're never going to watch it again. You're never going to see it again. You're never going to lay eyes on it again. It's gone from existence. Poof, gone from existence, ladies and gentlemen. Do it again! We'll see who rolls on in, if anybody's going to roll on in today, and if anybody cares. 335 of these babies. One has got to go. One movie has got to go. You have to be decisive and make a decision. Will you be able to do it? We're going to find out tonight on the show. Look at all those people rolling on in. What's going on, Tabitha? Brandon Collins is here. Shamrock Balls. Ben Tramer. Ian Rapash, Warren Armour, Chester Franklin Jr., Jay Beach, 12078, Geeked Out Turtle Fan. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 335 of McRae Live. And yeah, one's got to go. I thought this would be a fun one to do. I was going to do, what was the one I was going to do? There was another one I was going to do, and then I thought it felt a little too similar to horror hot takes. It was like another topic, but it felt too similar to to hot takes. Like they could, so I'm like, I don't want to do that again. That's, we've done 2 of those. So I thought, one's got to go because that's a tough one. That is a tough one. So I'm going to read these out to you. So let's get the party started. I'm going to read these out to you. I've got a list here. I compile the list. And I'm going to read these out to you. And I am not going to include Halloween. And the reason why I'm not going to include Halloween is because every time I include Halloween, nobody's going to pick Halloween. Nobody, like if I say, okay, one's got to go, Halloween or it's going to be, it's not going to be Halloween. It's not going to be Halloween. It's just, I'm like, come on. Like if I, put up a poll, hey, what movie should I watch tonight? Halloween or Halloween? But what about this? No, Halloween. Yeah, but what about this? So I figure it's kind of not fair. I don't want to add. It's not fair. So anyways, because no one's going to pick it because you can't live without it. Well, I've decided not to put it on the list. So let's start with this one, though. Here's a good one. So I'm going to give you 4. Where's my list here? Okay, I'm going to give you 4. Here we go. 3 of the big 4 are here, but I'm not including Halloween because everyone's going to pick Halloween, or not going to pick Halloween is the one they can't live without. So you have to pick one you cannot live without, and I want to hear your thoughts on it. I want to hear why. I want you to tell me why. I want to hear why. Here is the list. Are you ready? Number 1, you have to get rid of one. You have got to get rid of one. Number 1, A Nightmare on Elm Street, the original, 1984. Number 2, Scream, 1996. Number 3, Friday the 13th, Part 4. Ooh! Friday the 13th, Part 4. And number 4, you ready? Number 4, Child's Play 2. So I want to hear from you. What chat room? You tell me. What are we getting rid of? Are we getting rid of Child's Play 2? Are we getting rid of, actually, I should probably do this as a poll. That'll tell us. Let me put this up as a poll. 1 second here. Here we go. That'll tell. Where the hell is my goddamn? Okay, here we go. We're going to do this as a poll, folks. One has to go. All right, here we go. It's going to be Elm Street, 1984. Okay, it's going to be... I should have done this beforehand. I don't know what I was thinking. And then... Okay, and... Okay, I think we got all that there. Yes, yes, yes. There it is. I want to hear it. What one has got to go? Has got to go, ladies and gentlemen. Has got to go. Let's see what you say. I don't know what you're going to say, but let's see what you say. Brandon says Child's Play 2, and it isn't even close. So you love when people say that? Don't you love when people say that? They say it with such reverence, such confidence. Oh, yeah? Well, it's such and such and such and such. And, bruh, it's not even close, bruh. It's not even close, okay? It's not even close. Maybe, I don't know. Shamrock Ball says, probably Child's Play 2. I'm not a big fan of the franchise. Okay, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4. Well, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4 is not on this list. Did I say? No, I said Elm Street 1984. So that's Part 1. That's Part 1. I had to differentiate it from the 2010 remake. I love Scream. But out of those choices, it's got to go. It's got to go. It's gone. Gone. It's gone. What are you going to do? You're never going to watch it ever again. You're never going to see the cover of it ever. It doesn't exist. It's gone. It's gone. Now, there's two ways you can play this. You can play with it never existed, which is not the way I like to play these games, because here's the thing. If it never existed, well, then you're not any of the wiser. Then you don't know what you're missing, right? Like, that's not the way to play these games. Which one never, it's got to go, it never existed. Well, hang on a sec. If it never existed, I don't know what I'm missing, so I don't give a shit, right? Like, if Halloween never existed, who cares? Who cares? No, it's right now, this has to go away forever. Every copy burned, erased from existence. You can no longer buy it, rent it, download it, watch it, smell it, taste it, lick it. You can't. It's gone. It's gone. It's gone. It's gone. It's never going to air on television. It's not on streaming. It is just, you don't have it on physical. All your physical media copies, gone. Gone. The physical media devil fairy comes in the middle of the night and takes all the copies of, and they take it off. It's gone. It's gone. So you have a memory of it. You have a memory of it, but you will never be able to lay eyes on it or watch it ever again. It's just gone. Gone. And that's how I like to play it, because some people like to play it the other way. Well, it never existed. Well, yeah, but if it never existed, then I don't know what I'm not missing. Like right now, there could be a great horror movie that could come out in 2 years from now. But do I care about that? No, because I don't know about it, right? You don't know what you don't missing. Brandon Collins, $2. Thanks, Brandon. Says, pretty spot on impression of me, Dave. Well, it wasn't you necessarily. It was more of a caricature of people who generally say that kind of thing. But I'm glad I'm in the ballpark. I'm glad I'm in the ballpark, Brandon. Tabitha says, my first love is A Nightmare on Elm Street. I always grew up with Child's Play, and Scream was always good to me. I never got into Jason. So you would be getting rid of Jason, I guess. Okay. All right. We'll go a few more minutes here before we move on. Art the Clown is in the room. Says, Scream has got to go. It's been spoofed too much. Spoofed too much. Child's Play's got to go. Looks like it's a toss between Child's Play and Scream here. I don't know. Let me see here. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Chester Franklin Jr. says, I like Child's Play too. It's a good sequel, but it has got to go. It's got to go. You will never watch it ever again, Chester. You're never going. If you own it, it's gone. Gone. You can't even look at the cover. No, it's not even a situation where you can just look at the cover and reminisce. No, it's gone. The posters are gone. It is erased from existence. It is like the Mandela effect. You have a memory of it in your mind, but you walk down the street and you ask somebody, hey, Child's Play 2? What? Child's Play 2? No, dude, there was only one movie or one. It's gone. It's gone. It's gone. Maybe it's not quite that strict, but I got to go to the extreme to make a point here. Let me see. How we doing? Only 44 people have voted. Come on, people. There's more than 44 people in here. One has got to go so far. Child's Play 2 is leading the charge with 48%. Second place is The Final Chapter. I am surprised. I'm surprised to see Elm. You know, it's funny. It's funny. There must be a lot of sleeping Fred heads out there. I'm surprised The Final Chapter is actually quite high because it's considered one of the greatest slasher movies of all time. It's considered one of the best Friday the 13th movies of all time. I know there's a lot of Jason heads that watch me, so that's actually kind of surprising to see that. But Child's Play 2 is really running away with it with 47%. I mean, that's quite a list. That's quite a list. All right, we'll go another. With the amount of people that are in here, I think this has pretty much ended it. So I'll just end the poll now. If there were more people in here, I would give it more time. But hey, you're not going to show up? I'm not waiting for you, baby. Life goes on. Life goes on. The final. There it is. 47%. Child's Play 2 has got to go. Child's Play 2 has got to go. All right, let's do another one. Let me see here. Where's my list? My list. Oh, yes. All right, here we go. Oh, this will be good. All right. Where's the okay. All right, this will be interesting. All right, out of these. All right, just let me get the poll ready here. One has got to go. All right, 1 second. I have to differentiate some of these because some of them have remakes and stuff. I have too many tabs open. You ever do that? You just have too many goddamn tabs open. Okay, 1 second. I have a feeling I know which one it's going to be. Just because based on my viewership, I think this is the least liked on this list, but you never know. Maybe it won't be. I don't know. But I just have a feeling I know which one it's going to be. Just based on, like I said. I don't know what I guess I should tell you which one I would pick too. I guess I should start doing that. What one would I pick from? I probably would have picked Child's Play 2 as well, actually. So it's fair. Okay. All right. One has got to go. Here we go. And there it is. One has got to go, ladies and gentlemen. Carl Weidman, been a member for 21 months. Thank you, Carl. Says, hi, Dave. I chose Scream because I'm not a fan of the franchise, even though I've only seen the first film, which I liked. Well, if you're not a fan of the franchise, how do you know you're not a fan of the franchise if you've never seen a movie in the franchise? What constitutes a franchise is more than one movie. And if you haven't seen more than one movie, then you're not necessarily not a fan of the franchise. I think what you mean is you're not a fan of just the I get what you're saying. Yeah. You're not a fan of Ghostface. You're not a fan of the IP. You're not a fan of, what? Yeah. That's fair. That's totally cool. You should give them a shot, though. I mean, why not, right? Why not? You might like them. It's not going to change your life, but, you might like them. I'll be very curious to see which one kicks the bucket in this list, and I have a feeling I know which one it's going to be. I'll tell you whether I was right or not. But you tell me. The horror show Cecil Laird, ladies and gentlemen. The Cecil Laird. What's going on, Cecil? Believe it or not, I get rid of The Exorcist here, which I watch it less than the rest. It's funny. Well, I'll explain my thoughts in in a moment once people have had their vote. But good to see you here, Cecil. Let me see here. Tabitha, what's going on? Tabitha. Shamrock Ball says, that's a tough one, but I'll go for Insidious because it's basically a remake of Poltergeist. Is it, though? Is it really a remake of Poltergeist? I don't know. I don't know if I didn't think of Poltergeist when I watched it. I wouldn't say that. That's me. I wouldn't say it's a remake of Poltergeist. Jonathan Clancy sends in €5. Thank you, Jonathan. Says, they're all great films, but The Conjuring scared me less. All right. Well, according to Jonathan, The Conjuring has got to go. It has got to go, ladies and germs. Has got to go. Now, remember, this is not a situation where it is being erased from existence where it never existed. Because, again, if something never existed, then you're not going to miss what has never existed. You know what I'm saying? Like, people in the 70s were not missing out on smartphones. Like, oh my God, I don't have a smartphone. I mean, they're not any the wiser. You know what I'm saying? And right now, we are not missing out on whatever fucked up, wild, crazy ass shit is coming in 2040. You know what I'm saying? We're not missing it right now. We know it's coming, but we're not sitting here going, oh God, I wish I had a computer. You know, like we don't know whether to. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you have a memory of this movie, but it erases from existence. It is, you can no longer watch it. You can no longer look at its cover. All the copies you may own, the devil little, physical media fairy comes in the middle of the night and takes it all away. The digital copies erased. All the streaming services gone. The posters you can try to buy, but no, you can't. All the eBay listings gone. All the Craigslist listings. I'm going Craigslist. Gone. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter. They're gone. Gone. It's like the movie never existed, but you have a memory of it. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about, ladies and germs. That's what we're talking about. Jay Edwards says, people who the original Exorcist for granted watch the Blumhouse version, then watch the original right afterwards. Yeah, I've heard some people say that they don't think look, I've always said this about The Exorcist. I do still think it's a great film, and I do still think it's a scary film. But it depends on the metric for which you're judging it, right? If you are judging it as a scary film based on the scary things that happen in it, then obviously, like most movies from the 70s, they are dated, right? It's dated. Now, I still think it holds up very well because I think Friedkin is a great director and he understood the assignment. And the film is about, the film is not about the effects, right? As I've said before, The Exorcist is a character-driven film. It is not a plot-driven film. The Exorcist, yes, you have the girl and the slime and the voice and the makeup and all, and the possession, and that's all great and that's all amazing, and I still think a lot of that still holds up today. But that's not really what The Exorcist is about, right? It's about a priest who lost his faith, who feels guilty about the death of his mother and the relationship there, and then he ends up sacrificing himself to save a little girl he's never met, and all these guys. I know he's met her, but like I've said before, he sacrifices himself because when he meets Reagan, she's already possessed. So, and you have to watch older movies within their context, right? And, again, I don't want to go on a big tangent about that, but I do still think it holds up today. I still think it's a very scary film today. It's moody, it's atmospheric, the cinematography is great. It's a nice slow burn. Yes, it's dated because it's a 50-year-old movie. But it's like how I think Jaws still holds up. I think Jaws looks terrific. I think the shark looks, but you could watch Jaws today and go, if you're used to more modern filmmaking sensibilities, modern production value, modern technology, modern pacing, modern editing, you could look at Jaws and go, this is a snooze fest. You know what I'm saying? But Jaws is a character-driven film, right? And so I do think The Exorcist is still very scary today. And I think the scary moments, the more pop culture-y moments of scary, is frightening. I mean, you have a 13-year-old girl who's jamming her ba-boo-ba with a crucifix saying, your mother sucks cocks in hell, fuck me, fuck me, fuck me. That is wild even today to see a child behave that way. And so in 1973, bonkers shit right? Bonkers. So like, I still think it's a very scary movie today, but it depends on the measuring stick that you're assessing that on, right? You know? So, but I still think it holds up. I agree. Anyways, let's check the poll here. Here we go. All right. One has got to go. One has got to go. And it looks like, wow, I am surprised. Although not really, but I am a little surprised, although it's very close. I thought Insidious was going to be the one that was going to go. Because I get a sense that between the two James Wan films, let me just stop the poll here because I think those of you that want to vote have voted. So the final score here is The Conjuring at 39%, Insidious at 30%, Poltergeist, the original, at 18%, and of course the original Exorcist at 11%. You know, I think I'm surprised. I thought it was going to be Insidious. Because between the two, now I love both movies. I think both the original Insidious and The Conjuring, as I've said many times, are two of the best mainstream studio-released horror movies of the last 25 years. The first installments of their respective franchises. And I think what James Wan did for both was terrific. But I get a sense that the Conjuring franchise is more popular. I get a sense that the Conjuring franchise is more liked, although Insidious the Red Door did gangbusters at the box office, which was just insane. Despite it, you know, what you think of the movie, it did well. They're doing another one. And so I just always feel that whenever I talk about Insidious, or whenever Tony and I on Two Dudes would talk about Insidious or do a watch along, people don't seem engaged. They don't seem, they're talking about Insidious, or they're watching Insidious. They don't really feel. So I'm surprised that you all chose The Conjuring, because the pulse that I understand, at least with my viewers, is that you don't like Insidious, or at least you like Insidious less than you do The Conjuring. So I'm surprised to see that. But it has got to go. It is gone. The Conjuring, see ya. Wouldn't want to be ya. Just dated myself there. The Conjuring is gone. Kicked to the curb, ladies and gentlemen. Kicked to the curb. Robert Ford says, hey, Dave, you should one day do a vote on most scariest, best for jump scares, scary music and the atmosphere, etc. I would pick 1, Halloween, 2, The Exorcist, 3, The Thing, 4, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's a good idea, yeah. The best jump scares, that's a good one. I mean, I have talked about jump scares. I haven't done sort of a video. You know what? That's not a bad idea. Thanks, Robert. Thanks, Roberto. Chester Franklin Jr. Sorry, Chester, I thought you had said something. Let me see here. Brandon Collins says, I don't believe in ghosts or demons, so none of these ever really scared me beyond a jump scare here or there. Oh, you don't believe in ghosts, do you? What does Yoda say in Return of the Jedi? You will be. Just wait till I get my movie out there. Jacob Corntho says, The Conjuring is more, although that might be overselling, because I don't want to oversell something that, anyway, I don't want to say too much. I don't want to say too much. Jacob Corntho says, The Conjuring is more consistent than Insidious, but Insidious has higher highs. Either a solid choice to go. Yeah, it's great to see Insidious love, I'll be honest with you, because I am a big fan of that first movie. I didn't mind, look, I haven't seen The Lost Key. I saw The Red Door, and funny enough, I didn't mind it. I didn't think it was great. But I was going in expecting a catastrophic dumpster fire. I don't know why. Maybe some of the reviews. I can't remember. I didn't go to the theater. I watched it at home. I think I rented it. And I'm sitting there and I'm watching it. I got my snacks and I got Veda on my lap. For those of you that don't know who Veda is, it's my cat. And I got Veda on my lap and we're watching and she's into it. She loves horror movies, man. She's my little black cat. She loves horror movies. She's 11 and a half already. My God. It sucks that our furry little friends don't live long, and tortoises live to 95 and shit. Anyway, not that there's anything wrong with the tortoises. But anyway, I just can't believe she's 11 already. So, you know, we're watching it. She's into it. I'm into it. You know, I can always tell when she's into it because she's out cold. sleeping. And I didn't mind it. I didn't mind Insidious: The Red Door. I didn't love it. Like, I didn't love it. I think the fact that anyway, I don't want to get off on the whole tangent about that, but I didn't mind it. I didn't mind it. And Insidious Chapter 3, which was directed by Lee Winnell, was way better than it had any right being. And I think it's only as good as it is, Chapter 3, because of Lee Winnell. But I haven't seen the Lost Key, the Final Key, the Wrong Key, the whatever the hell the key one was. I didn't bother seeing that. I'm like, I don't know, man. All right, let's get another one up there. Let me get another one. Hang on, where's my list? Where's my list? All right. Ooh, okay, this one's going to be a good one. One has got to go, ladies and gentlemen. Hang on. One has got to go. All right, let's get these in here. One has got to go. Which one will be? I don't know. I kind of have I don't know. I have a feeling I know which one it's going to be. But I was wrong last time. So, and you know me, I'll be honest with you. I won't pretend that, I was right. No, I'll be honest. I thought Insidious was going to lose that battle, and it didn't. So I will be honest with you. I have a feeling I know which one's going to lose this one. Yeah, but we'll see. And I think, should I put that one there? Maybe that's an unfair. Hang on a sec. Let me just, 1 second here. Hang on a sec. Okay, I think I know. No. What's that? I'm switching one because I have a feeling it's going to be too obvious. So I'm going to put. What the hell is the name of it? Hang on a sec. Sorry about this, guys. I'm doing this live in the moment. I was iffy on that anyway. So I want to change this up. Okay, I want to make this. Okay. All right. Right there. Too many tabs, Dave. Too many tabs. All right. Okay. Right. I just want to make sure because I know there's a couple of them that are meant that are okay. I like to be precise here. Here we go. One has got to go. One has got to go, ladies and gentlemen. One has got to go. Which one will it be? I have no freaking idea, but we're going to find out. Ryan Oslo says, Dave's streams are always a blast. Thank you, Ryan. I appreciate that. I'm glad you enjoy the shenanigans and the entertainment value. Amber says, this is fun. Glad I caught this live. Well, thank you, Amber. Thank you for being here. I appreciate that. Tom Ungurian says, I was just messing with you, Carl. Oh, talking to Carl. Daniel Palma says, go watch Andor, Dave. I have not watched Andor yet, and probably not anytime soon, but maybe one day. Tanner Bowles says, Hereditary has got to go. Yeah, a lot of people don't like Hereditary. I love it. I think it's great. It's a good film. Shamrock Ball says, I've only seen The Shining. You've only seen The Shining out of these? Ooh. Wow. I just looking at the early voting here, I am shocked. I'm shocked, ladies and gentlemen. One day people are going to do a poll for my movie. Which one has got to go? Such and such, the house on Port Robinson Road, such and such. The people are going to go, those on Port Robinson Road has got to go. It's got to go. Especially my haters, my Dave McRae haters out there. It's funny stuff. We'll let that poll go for a little bit. Josh Stevens says, love that Dave convinced me to watch The Ritual, but if I had to choose one, he put them next to Three Powerhouses. I did, but The Ritual is so good. It's good. It's great, but this is what makes it fun. Why? What do I choose? Oh, I forgot to say which one that I would choose on the last one. I would have chosen, what was it? It was Poltergeist, Insidious, The Conjuring, and what was the other one? Poltergeist, Insidious, The Conjuring, and I forget the last one. Is it still there? Can I still see it? The results? Can I still see the results? Yeah, there it is. And The Exorcist. I would have chosen between those three. I probably would have chosen Insidious. Because as much as I probably would have chosen Insidious. Although I do love it, but I think The Conjuring that first movie is really good. So I think I would have chosen Insidious if I had to choose one. But I'm glad that it, didn't win. The Conjuring is gone, ladies and gentlemen. The Conjuring is gone. Harsh Language Podcast says, how are there so many votes for The Witch and Hereditary? Those are hipster votes. Cool to hate popular movies. Well, listen, it's a list of 4 psychological films, right? And we live in a day and age now, and I'm not saying that this is what's happening here. I am speaking generally. But, in the horror community, there are people that don't like, psychological elevated horror films. And there are probably people that are not going to like The House on Port Robinson Road. What was it? It was when I made a post about it like a couple of months ago. Like I just finished the script or something like that. You know how I made my post, like I finished the script. This is amazing. I'm so excited. And somebody said, how many deaths in it, or how many kills, or how much blood, or something like that. And I was like, there's no blood. Like, I didn't want to give too much away, right? Like I don't want to start, but they said something and I was just like, yeah, or maybe it was boobs. It might've been boobs or something. And I was like, there's no boobs. Like it's not that kind of movie. Like it's not a slasher movie. And then I saw some people, compare my film when I posted a little, not a synopsis, but just sort of a small paragraph, what essentially the bones of the film is about. And a few people tried to compare it to other movies, say it's kind of like, oh, it sounds like it's like this. It sounds like it's like that. And I'm kind of like, I see why you're thinking that, but it's not like that. It's not like that. And that's not, I don't say that in a bad way. I mean, like in my mind, in a very good way. It's like I said, I believe it's a very scary film, very obviously rich with my Dave McRae atmosphere and mood and suspense and all that, but it's a philosophical film as well. It's a deeper film. It's a character driven film, right? And so, it's not boom boom bang bang, slice slice dice dice. But I do believe it's a scary film. But it is, The House on Port Robinson Road is an elevated psychological horror drama, and in the about college age characters, which is very rare. It's not that movies about haunted farmhouses don't exist. They do, but they generally tend to veer more into slasher, right? Whereas my movie is not that at all. So I do believe, and I say this, I do believe it's something that hasn't been done before in this way. The marriage of sort of two kind of subgenres. Or no, not subgenres, but the marriage of these two things. I don't think we've quite seen it in this way before. You know what I mean? So there's a definite maturity to the film. It's not X. Well, we'll say that. Not that there's anything wrong with X, but anyway, I digress. But I think a lot of people today tend to, when somebody talks to certain people of the certain horror fans get their nose up in the air when people talk about elevated horror. They see it as a bit pretentious or condescending or whatever the case is. And that does not mean that there are not artsy fartsy avant-garde pretentious movies out there. There are, where you watch the movie and you're like, yeah, okay, this guy's just rolling in his own stank. You know what I mean? Like, he's just like, dude, like, calm the fuck down. Like, I don't know what this is about. I don't know what you're doing. This is ridiculous. By the way, that's not the house on Port Robinson Road. You will be able to follow along. It's not like that at all. But there are some movies that are kind of like that, and it kind of sort of gives a bad name to all psychological horror to a degree. It's psychological. Oh, well, it means I got to think. And it's kind of like, well, yeah, but it's not, no, it's not, Anyway, so I think some people tend to kind of, because listen, there's a large portion of horror fans and a large portion of my fan base, my viewer base, that, are just into more of the mainstream kind of stuff, more the populist kind of easily digestible horror, right? Your Terrifiers, your Halloweens, your Elm Streets, your Screams, your Friday the 13th. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I like those movies too. But I think the scariest films are the psychological, character-driven films, because you can have all the scares, all the great scares and creepy stuff and crazy imagery and scary moments. You can have all that in an elevated psychological horror film. I mean, trust me. but it's how you deliver it and where the emphasis lies and all that kind of stuff. But yeah. And so I think some people tend to kind of scoff at psychological horror. Not everybody. I just mean there is a bit of that, it's kind of like, come on. Anyway, let's see how we do here. I can't believe this. This is my favorite psychological horror film of the last, one of my favorites of the last 10 years. It's The Ritual. But according to this list, The Ritual has got to go. If it were me, I would have chosen The Witch. And I love The Witch. I like The Witch. I like Robert Eggers' The Witch. But out of these four, I would have chosen The Witch. But you guys did not. And by a long shot, you chose The Ritual, which is one of my favorite psychological. If you guys have not seen The Ritual, hopefully you didn't vote for The Ritual. I mean, if you haven't seen it and you've seen the others and that's why you voted for it, I mean, do yourself a favor and watch The Ritual. It's a great film. Yes, it's a psychological horror. But it's got a great payoff and a wicked ass looking fucking beast monster thing. It's really, really cool. And it's one of the best horror movies, psychological horror movies I've seen. It was one of those films that I just saw the blurb on Netflix. I'd never heard of it. And I just hit play. I went in blind, completely blind. Didn't watch a trailer, didn't look it up online, just read the, 2-sentence blurb and just went, well, that sounds interesting. Okay, play. And I just started watching it and I was blown away. I was like, yeah, this is I love, the cinematic language and the layers and how it's executed. And, it's a character driven piece as well. Oh, it's plot driven as well, but it's got a character heart to it. And I thought it was a great film. So I would not have chosen The Ritual, but you guys did. So there you go. You guys chose The Ritual. All right. Zachary says, it's funny, Dave, you haven't included a Halloween film in any of these polls yet. Is that a coincidence? No, it's deliberate because I know that nobody would choose Halloween. It's like I said at the top of the show, if I do a poll in my community section and say for a watch along, and it doesn't matter what Halloween movie I pick, it will always win. I could pick Halloween, the original, or I could pick Halloween Resurrection. People either want to watch me talk about the original, my love for it, or if I pick Halloween Resurrection, which is one of the worst, they want to tune in and watch me bash it. And so I've learned now, if I'm going to do a movie poll, unless I want Halloween to win or I'm okay with doing it, I never put Halloween on a poll because I know you guys won't pick anything else. So that's why I did not put Halloween on any of the polls because, and Halloween does not belong on the poll that just happened because it's not a psychological film. There's a psychological component to it, but it's not a psychological horror. So it wouldn't belong on that list. But anyway, okay, let's do one more. All right. Ooh, this will be a good one. Okay, let's do this one. All right. Hang on a sec here. Let's go over here. Do one more here. Okay. One has got to go. Okay, let me add these. I'm just adding these folks. Okay, 1 second. Oh, what the hell? Why am I... God, getting older and I can't think... Right. That's it. Christ. Okay. All right. I just want to get that. This will be a fun one. And the final one, thank you for bearing with me as I get these in there. And then, okay. This will be interesting. This is a mashup. This is a true mashup. You're going to see this poll and be like, wow. And then, fuck. What's the name of that? Sorry, I'm blanking here. 1 second. 1 second, folks. I'm blanking. I'm blanking on a fucking... I'm blanking on a big... Where is it now? Oh, God, why can't I find it? Why can't I find it? Why am I blanking on this? Oh, there we go. Okay. That's what it is. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, that's taking so long. My apologies. Don't shoot me. Make sure I spelled that right. Yeah, okay. Okay, here we go. One has got to go. One has got to go. One has got to go, ladies and gentlemen. One has got to go. You will never watch it ever again. You will never own it ever again. If you own a copy of this movie, it will be taken from you in the middle of the night by the physical media devil fairies. Okay? It will be removed from streaming. You will never see an image of this movie ever again. Nor a poster, a photograph, behind the scene, nothing. It will cease to exist. One has got to go. And which one is it? Which one is it? Which one is it? We're going to find out. But have I missed any member chats or super chats? I don't think anybody's been sending any in. So I just want to make sure I haven't missed anything. I don't think I have. No. I did get the ones that did come in, though. Okay. I just want to make sure I haven't missed anything. By the way, if you want to become a member here on the channel, feel free to hit that join button. There's 2 tiers. If you want to become a member, you'll get exclusive perks, exclusive shows. Your name will be highlighted green in the chat room. And you get, certain emojis beside your name as well. By the way, I'm hoping at some point this week we can have a member-only Q&A. Feel free to check that out. Jonathan Clancy says, The Ritual is fantastic, but you put it up against insanely good films. I did, but The Ritual is insanely good. I mean, I'm just saying. That's what makes it fun. It wouldn't be fun if it was easy, right? It would not be fun if it was easy. So we'll see where this one goes. I mean, it looks like right now, Terrifier 2 is just leading the way. I'm a little surprised. I got to be honest with you. I'm surprised. I thought for sure that Talk to Me. I don't know. I'm surprised. I'm surprised people are willing to get rid of Terrifier 2. Remember, you're never going to watch it ever again. Like, you will never watch it ever again. It will cease to exist. Which means if Terrifier 2 ceases to exist, Terrifier 3 ceases to exist. Because without 2, there would be no 3. And so, I'm just saying. I don't make the rules, man. I mean, I do, but I don't make the rules, man. We shall see. We shall see. Flick Symmetry says, Talk to Me was a one-time watch for me, but T2 isn't my bag, baby. Talk to Me. I'd watch Talk to Me again. But yeah, it's not one that I think has like an abundance of rewatchability. I did really appreciate their opening oneer, though. The oneer at the beginning of the movie I thought was quite impressive. Well structured. I'd love to know how many times they shot that. It's very rare you shoot a oneer in one take. Well, it depends on how long it is. But even like the oneers that we shot in It's Me, Billy 1 and 2, if you guys remember, the oneer where Sam, in chapter 1, she walks down the hall, down the stairs to the front door. That was done in one take. That was eight takes, and it was the 8th take that we chose. And then in chapter 2 is when she comes into the living room, she picks up her phone, she walks into the dining room, into the hall, down around, then she finds her dad hanging from dead in a garbage bag. That was a oneer. And I think I don't think that took 8 takes, but that was about, I want to say maybe 4 or 5 takes, maybe. So yeah, depends how complicated your oneer is, but, Jacob Corinthos says, wait, you mean I won't ever get to see the overlong, self-indulgent Clown's Cafe dream sequence again? What a loss. Ooh, shots fired. Brandon Collins says, my only real criticism of The Substance is that there's just too many references to other films. If it had been just a tad restrained in its homage to other films, it would be perfect. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. But I liked it. Although I didn't like it. It's funny. I liked the movie. I didn't love The Substance, though. I know Darren, I think it was his favorite movie of the year last year. Darren from the Slaughtered Lamb Movie Podcast, Mr. Sandsman as well. And I did like it, but I think if I had to choose, I might choose Smile 2 over The Substance. I really dug Smile 2. I know the ending got a little, it's like, what's going on? I acknowledge that and I get all that. But I thought, there were some pretty good moments in that. Again, I think it's these things where I have such low expectations for horror movies now that when one comes along that is, even just pretty good, I'm like, wow, that wasn't bad. It's a little bit of Scooby-Doo. Row. But it's true. Like, I just have a bit of that, this is pretty good, because my expectations are so low. And I think that's kind of what happened with Smile 2, although I quite liked the first one, so my expectations weren't too low. Is it, what's the one I keep, Strange Darling? Oh, no, is that the one? What's the one? I keep getting that one and the one that, what's her face directed. Anyways, I thought that was a good movie. And I think I might have liked that better than The Substance, but I like The Substance too. Yeah, I mean, and I like Wolfman. I'm not going to get off on that tangent again, but frankly speaking, Riker, ladies and gentlemen, says, I know they are making Terrifier 1, 2, 3, 4, Terrifier 4, and I'll go see it, but something tells me that I won't be surprised by the gore scenes anymore. But question, how can they go beyond anything I saw previously? Well, that's the bit of the conundrum, right? I would imagine that Damien Leone is aware of that. He's conscious of that. I've said this before, but it bears repeating just on the piggybacking on Frank's comment. Now, I haven't seen Terrifier 3 yet. I tip my hat to them for crowdfunding, not part 3, of course. They were backed by a studio or a production company for part 3, but part 2, raising all the money. I mean, I respect the hustle. It's not my kind of horror. I mean, I'm not really into that kind of horror. I can watch it once, get a good kick out of it, and I don't ever need to see it again. It's just not my kind of thing. It's not my jam. But I respect it. I respect the hustle, and I respect that what they've done. And I think it's great what they've done for horror and for indie filmmakers. I mean, it's a rising tide raises all ships, right? I think it's great. But I've yet to see 3. I've seen 1 and 2. But I had Terrifier 3 fans would reach out to me, but would comment on certain things that I was talking about. And they would, now this is not me saying this, so don't shoot the messenger, but they would say, went to see Terrifier 3, saw it, and it was okay. They enjoyed it, but nothing in it like shocked them more. Like it wasn't gorier than part 2. It was just more of that gore. So I guess it depends on how you're measuring it, right? They told me, again, don't shoot the messenger. They told me that yes, it's gorier, like it's gorier in the sense of that there's more of it. But, there wasn't anything that, Terrifier fans would be shocked by, right? And so, to your point, Frank, now they're doing 4. Where do they go? And that was one of the things that I talked about like 5 years ago or 4 years ago when I did a whole thing on Art the Clown and Terrifier and is he an icon, or not, and all that kind of stuff. I did it on the cusp of the release of part 2. And I talked about that. I said, like, because the shtick and the gimmick of those movies is, and this is not a knock on them. I mean, I even think Leone would agree, is that the shtick, the gimmick, the hook of these films is the blood, the guts, the gore, the unrelenting violence, the uncensored. I mean, that's why you go. You go to see how crazy this is going to be. And if this is going to be crazier than the other film, well, there's a ceiling because eventually you become desensitized. So there is a ceiling. I don't know what that ceiling is and whether he's hit it yet or not, but there is a ceiling. And I find it interesting that even Terrifier 3, even Terrifier fans were saying to me, again, don't shoot the messenger. Not everybody thinks this, but these are your fellow fans, would say to me, I'm a fan, and even now I'm starting to get desensitized. Like I can feel now myself not being as shocked anymore. Like I can feel it sort of wearing off. And it's like, well, yeah, I mean, if you go balls to the wall, hardcore for 3 films, I mean, you're going to, there's nowhere left to go. Right. And so I am curious to see what does he have to do to, he said, I think he said he was never going to do this. And I think he did this off camera, but is he going to change his mind? And is he going to kill little kids on camera? I mean, are we going to see little children's heads get popped off and little children's torsos cut in half? That would be wild. Come on. I mean, that would be like, whoa. Oh my God. But I don't know if Damien Leone wants to face the court of opinion. Listen, he could legally do it. It's not rated. He could do it, but I don't know if he wants to face the impending crazy backlash that may come his way, and being accused of being extremely distasteful. Now we're murdering, like we're literally murdering little children. When I say little child, 7, 8, 9, 10, we're literally murdering children on screen. Not literally. I just did my own faux pas. Not literally, obviously, but we are making it look like with all the crazy effects, like you're seeing everything now. There's nothing left of the imagination. That's what I mean. Not literally, of course. But nothing is left of the imagination, right? And so, that would be crazy. That would be a step up. That would be something you haven't seen yet. And so, I don't know, man. I don't know. So, like, I agree, Frank. I don't know where he goes. And I think he knows this. He knows he's got a ceiling. He also probably knows that could be why he's ending with 4. Now, will there be a 5? Maybe. Damien Leone's got all the rights right now. He owns everything. Him and his producing partner, I believe, own everything. But, money talks. If Damien Leone steps away from Terrifier and goes on and continues to make films that do well, likes to do other things, there may be a burning desire for a Terrifier 5. He may not want to do it. So he gets somebody else to do it. He just comes on as a producer. That can happen as well. Somebody else directs it. So do I think, Terrifier 4 will be the last Terrifier movie? Probably not, but it may be the last one that he writes and directs. But it's just crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. All right, let's see the results of this poll here, folks. One has got to go. One has got to go. And the results are, here we are. Terrifier 2 coming in at 36%. Talk to Me at 29%. The Substance at 21%. And It Follows at 12%. See, you guys like psychological horror movies. It Follows it could be seen as a psychological horror movie. I don't know what does Wikipedia call it? Let's see. What is it officially called or officially labeled as? It's just labeled as a horror film. Okay, fair. But I mean, there's a psychological component to it for sure. Not psychological like The Shining, there's layers to these things. Remember, there's layers to these things, right? There's layers, there's floors to these things, it's not black and white, but there's a psychological, it's a more elevated, mature than say, Terrifier. And so, my audience came through. See, my audience likes those kinds of movies. Talk to Me was there's a psychological component to that too. But yeah, Terrifier 2, it's gone. You'll never watch it again. You'll never see it again. You'll never lay eyes on it ever again, ladies and gentlemen. It is gone. Well, that was fun. Folks, hey, listen, if you're watching after the fact, jump into the comment section and let me know your thoughts on some movies that have got to go. Feel free to put your own list into the comment section below, and then others can chime in and pick from your list. Movies that have got to go. Remember, the rules are, it's not that they never existed, because again, if something never existed, well, then you wouldn't miss it. Then you could pick any movie and it wouldn't matter. You could pick the original Halloween and it wouldn't matter because you would not be aware that it had ever existed. So you wouldn't miss it. So that's not what I mean. I mean a movie that you know exists, you've seen 1,000 times, it's your favorite movie or you love the movie, and the universe is taking it away. It is taking it away. No physical media, no digital media, no posters, no photo. It's like it never existed, but you have memories of it. That's what it's like. So those are the rules that I'm putting in place. Frank Riker, what's going on? Frank sends in $5. Thank you, Frank. Says, Dave, did you hear they are making In a Violent Nature 2? I have. It's 6 hours long. No. And we follow the perspective of Terry Fox. Terry Fox hopping along through Canada. Could you imagine? Yeah, no, I am aware that they want to make In a Violent Nature 2. For those who don't know, In a Violent Nature, for better or worse, is a Canadian movie, a Canadian independent movie, shot here in the province of Ontario. And Victoria Miro, who actually played Sam in It's Me, Billy, Chapter 1 and 2, her friend was in the movie. I don't know who her friend was. I'd have to text her and ask her, but her friend had a part in it. I don't know if she was the yoga girl or if she was... I don't know who she was. She did tell me, and then I totally forgot. But it was an independent film that they released, and it did well, and well relative to its budget. So they're going to do another one. I watched it. I thought In a Violent Nature, in my honest opinion, I didn't hate it. I thought the first 20 minutes was actually quite good. Was quite compelling. I mean, low budget, low production value, sure. But the premise and the idea I thought was kind of interesting. There's always, I probably won't ever watch it again, but there's this one thing I will always remember from it. And I think it was towards the beginning, like in the first 20 minutes, when Johnny, I think that's his name, we're following him, right? And he's walking through the woods and you start to hear off in the distance, there's like a house, right? If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. And we start to hear off in the distance, like two people arguing or talking or whatever. And then Johnny kind of stops and he's looking around and we hear the environment, right? The sound design, shout out to Tattoo in Toronto. I've been down there a number of times. I think they were the post-production facility on In a Violent Nature. Great bunch of guys. And the sound design is amazing. They've done a terrific job on the sound. And so you really feel the environment, the cicadas, the cicadas in the summertime that makes you feel that really hot kind of humid weather, and all the other sounds and the environment. And you hear that arguing in the house. And obviously it was rehearsed and, blocked really well of when he arrives and when the guy gets in the truck and drives off. And I loved all that because even though I'm not a gamer, folks. Don't start coming at me with all sorts of questions about games because I don't know what the hell you're going to talk about. But I am 46 years old and I have played video games in my life, and I have owned a PS2 and an Xbox 360 and a PS4. I never did get a PS5. I meant to get one, but I never got one. And so I have played games, and I have played first-person games and all that kind of stuff. And it reminded me of that. That whole sequence reminded me the way it was shot, the angle of the camera, the height of the camera, the way he would move. Like I was playing the character of Johnny, and you would hear, like in the video game, you would hear like, and you're like, oh, what's that over there? I got to walk over there. Shoo, 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 shoo. And it was kind of cool the way it played out. I was like, this is kind of interesting. And of course, the blocking and the choreography and the timing, and I don't know how many times I had to shoot that, but that was really well done, And then he goes in the house and he comes out. Like I thought all of that was actually kind of good. But because of the premise and the kind of movie it was and is, I think I think it would have been better as a short film, like a 20-minute short film, or even a 30-minute short film. And there's nothing wrong with short films. I made two myself. But I think it would have been better maybe in that regard. I think Skinamarink, the same thing. Skinamarink is a Canadian movie as well. And I think that would have been better as a short 20-minute thing. I think it was just way too long. And that's my opinion. It's just way too long. I just was like, this is great premise. Like the premise of both movies, I just think they're too long. I think the premise has overstayed its welcome. It served its point over and over and over. And there wasn't enough stuff going on. But I tip my hat to them that it's amazing, that it's amazing. I tip my hat to them that they were able to produce something that a lot of people found amazing. Not everybody, of course. And it made some money. And so much so that they're going to do a sequel. And I'm very curious on what the sequel is going to be. Are they just going to recycle the same premise? Are we just going to be following somebody? Or is it going to be a mixture of both? Are we going to kind of jump back to sort of his POV-ish kind of thing and then jump to more modern sort of traditional narrative storytelling and then jump I don't know. I'm very curious to find out. I am very curious to find out, I should say. And Terry Fox, for my Canadian brothers and sisters who don't know who Terry Fox is, Terry Fox was, he's one of our Canadian heroes in a lot of ways. He, some of you in the States may know because he has crossed borders, but some of you may not. So Terry Fox was a young, I might get some of this wrong. It was the early 80s, and he was a young 22-year-old kid, and he lost his leg to cancer. And for cancer research, again, this is the early 80s, he made a commitment to run across Canada on one leg. Look it up. It's amazing. And he almost did it. Well, he made it halfway. He started in Newfoundland, I think, whatever the easternmost part of Canada is. I should know this. Newfoundland, Nova Scotia, somewhere out there. And he ran all the way. He had to stop, unfortunately, not all in one shot, of course. He ran basically a marathon a day. And the run was called the Marathon of Hope. And he ran 26 miles a day. This is no joke. And on one leg. On like his other leg was like, a prosthetic leg. And there's incredible, absolutely incredible. And he got just outside Thunder Bay, Ontario, which is on the northern shores of Lake Superior. So northern Ontario. And unfortunately, he had to stop there because his cancer had returned. And, was it a smart thing for him to do? Did the cancer come back because of all the strain on his body? Who knows, probably. But he was looking to raise $1 million for every Canadian, I think. And at that time, there were, or $1 for every Canadian? Yeah, $1 for every Canadian. Yes, He wanted to raise $1 for every Canadian at that time. In the early 80s, I think the population of, like now, the population of Canada is about 40 million. At that time, it was only about 20 million. And he ended up raising it. He ended up raising well over it, I think. But it's a remarkable story. It's really, really cool. And yeah, he's one of those Canadian heroes that ends up on, coins and, $5 bills and, statues. I've been to actually his statue, which is just outside of Thunder Bay. I've been to it. It's on like this hill looking over, in this area where he stopped. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And very, very, very cool. So that's who Frank is talking about, is Terry Fox. Really, really cool. All right. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Fliximetry says, it's a great film, Dave. We watched it in high school. The Terry Fox, all about Terry Fox. It's amazing. Yeah, he's I mean, very, very cool. I wish I had been older at that time to be able to appreciate it, because I think I was only like 2 or 3 years old. But Shamrock Ball says, Dave, when I was a young child, I saw a movie about him and was captivated. Very cool. Very cool. I'm so glad. Yeah, because he has the Terry Fox legend has crossed borders into the U.S. But it's not as well known in the States. Maybe if you live in the northern states like New York, Minnesota, maybe it's known up there. But if you get kind of in the middle of the U.S., they might not know who the hell he is. But he's a legend, man. I mean, he was a young kid, man. I mean, only, like I said, 22, 21. They have made, like, there's documentaries on him galore, and they did make a movie about him too, like a TV movie, or maybe there's been a couple of them, with actors who, play him and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, it's pretty cool. Imagine running 26 miles a day on one leg. Imagine that. I mean, I run 10K. Well, I haven't ran actually in about a month because I'm nursing a little bit of a hamstring injury. But when I do run, I run about 10K 3 days a week. Well, 10K is about 5 miles. So I run about 15 miles a week. And I'm a runner. I can't even imagine running 26 miles a day on one leg. Legend. He's a legend. I mean, that's incredible. That's incredible. On one leg. One leg. That's hard enough to do on 2 legs. Incredible. Ronan sends in $4.99. Thanks, buddy. Says, Dave, would you rather watch a tree grow or a knee grow? Aw, come on, man. Come on. Come on, dude. Come on. Come on now. I'd actually rather watch my knee grow, because I think my knee would grow into a very big, bulging sphere. Do you know what I'm saying? Come on, dude. Come on. Juan Rivera sends in $5, says, hey, Dave, do you watch did you watch Netflix Tudum? Thoughts on all the sneak peeks? I'm really excited for Stranger Things, Frankenstein, and Happy Gilmore too. I would say I did watch a bit of it. Frankenstein looks spectacular. Frankenstein was shot here in Toronto. It was shot at Pinewood. I also saw The Ship. They built the ship down in the Toronto Harbor, and it was wild. Sean Sullivan, Lynn Griffin's husband, is in Frankenstein. Frankenstein. Yeah. And I've chatted with him about it, and really, really cool. So there's a few things I know that I can't say. But he was there. He auditioned for a part, and he's in it. I don't know the specifics of his part, but he's in the film. And he told me about the conversations he would have with Guillermo del Toro, and it just sounds like a really cool experience. So I did think the Frankenstein trailer looked fantastic. It's too bad that thing's not going to be in the theaters. It's too bad it's not going to be in the theaters. Because I mean, it's a theater movie, right? You know what I mean? Like really, it's a spectacular film, a theater film, really that should be there. Should be in the theaters as far as I'm concerned. Let me see here. And I did watch the Stranger Things trailer. And now it makes sense. The other day, last Friday, I was doing a live show and somebody in the chat asked if I was excited for the Stranger Things trailer releasing tomorrow. And I was like, tomorrow? Tomorrow's Saturday. Studios don't release trailers on Saturday. And I had no idea about this Netflix ta-dum. I had no idea. And then when I realized that was the event where this trailer was going to be released, I was like, oh, that makes sense. And then I thought, I still don't think this is like, they don't usually. And then when I watched the trailer, I was like, right, this is not a trailer. I mean, there's a few snippets in there from the new season, but this is just, I mean, most of it is just rehashing the seasons before and telling you the release dates of the new, shows. And then of course it shows a few snippets from the previous film or from the new season. But that makes sense. I'm like, yeah, because they're not going to release an official full-length trailer, right? On a Saturday. They're just not going to do that. They're going to release it on a Tuesday, a Wednesday, or a Thursday. Not even on a Friday. Usually studios will release trailers in midweek. And it's based on engagement. I do that. We did that with It's Me, Billy. When I was going to release, a trailer, what is the best time to release trailers and photographs on social media? Because believe it or not, they know our behavior. They watch our behavior. It's a sociological thing. They watch it. They know when you're most tuned in. They know when you're most tuned out. And, posting a trailer to a gigantic movie or a gigantic series on Friday at 7, not a smart thing to do because nobody's tuning in. Everybody's out. It's Friday night. It's the summer, Saturday. So yeah, this makes sense because it was just, they didn't show anything. They just showed a few snippets. And really that makes sense to me. That because at first I was like, they're releasing the trailer on a Saturday? I'm like, no. And sure enough, no, they didn't. It's not a season 5 trailer. And let's be honest. The official season 5 trailer will be coming maybe this month, but maybe July or something like that. I don't know. It's coming. But that wasn't it. But I thought it looked okay, I guess, for what we've seen. I still believe, and I posted this on social media the other day, I would love it if 11 sacrificed herself to save the others. I don't think they're going to do that. Because I don't know if the Duffer Brothers have the balls to do that or if Netflix would allow them to do that because Netflix might want to use 11 and other spin-off stuff. But I think from a storytelling perspective, I think it would be so powerful and so, listen, nobody wants her to die. It would be heartbreaking. That's the point. Right? Is for it to be absolutely devastating and heartbreaking. But I think her to sacrifice herself to save the others would be amazing because 11, how can she live a normal life unless they're going to, and somebody said to me the other day, well, they could just take her powers away. Like something happens spiritually, magically, where her powers just vanish and she no longer has powers anymore. And therefore she's a normal girl. And I'm like, yeah, but she would always be 11. Even if she changes her name to James, Julie, Sarah, whatever, it doesn't matter. Beth, Carol, it doesn't matter. She's still 11 and she's still the girl. She will live her life being that girl that saved the world. I mean, whether she has powers or not, she's going to be hounded and for interviews and talk shows and movie deals and by the government, they're going to want to test her anyway. And if they don't do that and she remains with her powers, how does she live a normal life? How does she ever live a normal life like that? It just doesn't see. I know I'm thinking about this way too realistically. It's just a show, Dave. I know. But I just thought to myself from a character perspective to give her agency And for her to realize by like the last episode, oh my God, I know what I need to do. I don't want to do it, but I'm going to do this. And the emotional weight that brings into the show, think about that. The emotional weight, the stakes that brings into the show. And I don't mean a fake sacrifice. I don't mean, oh, she's going to sacrifice. Oh, but she really didn't. Oh, yay. No. I mean, she's fucking dead. Like she sacrifices herself to save the fucking world. I mean, that is incredible. And because she can never live a normal life. And you know, to see that, you know, that interaction with Mike and the kids and Hopper, you know, and I mean, just incredible. And she does it. She does it selflessly and goes out there and I don't know how you would weave that, like how that makes sense. But I think that would be incredible and a terrific full circle moment, an absolute terrific full circle moment. She realizes she needs to do this, to sacrifice herself, to save the world, to save her friends, to save the people that saved her, to save the people that saved her. Yeah, but Dave, she can do that without dying. Of course she can do that without dying, but it means more. It's deeper, thematically, spiritually, psychologically. You know, it means more. It's the ultimate sacrifice to save the world and her friends. I mean, what a hero. I mean, what an amazing moment for that character. But that's probably not going to happen. No, they'll just, because I'm looking for something different. Like I'm looking, it's like, okay, like this has gotta, like, don't tease me like, oh, I know what I need to do. I gotta go save the world. No, Eleven, don't save the world. I gotta sacrifice myself, Mike. No, don't do that. And then she does it, but she really comes back. Oh, she's back. It's like, nah, come on. I think it would be so cool. Anyway, but yeah, so I saw that. I didn't see the Happy Gilmore 2 one. I just saw a few of them. But, you know, I didn't even know about this event, and it's been going on for a while. Harsh Language Podcast, $2 says, have you seen the trailer for Weapons? Looks great. Oh, I have. I've talked about it on the channel. I have a whole McRae live episode just from a couple of weeks ago where I talk about it. So, yeah, it looks fantastic. I'm very intrigued, and looks right up my alley. Josh McKenna, $1.99, says, did you see the Sydney Sweeney has bathwater soap? I did. And I think it's ridiculous and lame. Like what? Every time she takes a bath, she's going to sell. I mean, how do we know? Are there going to be DNA tests done? I mean, it's presumed if it's from her bath water, she would be. I mean, how does that work? Like, how does that work? I mean, we know it's not going to be just this. This is what you know it's not going to be, folks. Sydney Sweeney is sitting in the bath, boobs and all. And she's got bubbles all around. And she's sitting and soaking in this bath water. The dirt and grime and whatever else is on her is seeping into the bath water. Okay. Well, we know it's not going to be this. Her bath water, bath soap, people are not going to be there beside her, scooping in the bath water. And you have to disinfect that shit. Basically my point is, how much of Sydney Sweeney is really going to be in the soap? Or is it just going to be some sort of fragrance that Sydney Sweeney uses in her bath water, and that's the fragrance of the soap? You can't take a human's bath water and not make sure that it's not disinfected. I'm not saying she's infected. I'm just saying hygienically, health concerns, health organizations. It's just like, for Sydney, come on, man. But the crazy thing is, people are going to buy it. People are going to buy it. What is wrong with you people? Don't buy that soap. Fund my movie. How about that? Take the $500 you'd spend on Sydney Sweeney soap and send it over to me, you lazy bastards. Maybe I should reach out to Sydney Sweeney. I'll reach out to her reps and be like, Sin, can I call you Sin? You know what? Maybe we could join forces. Maybe I could run a big Indiegogo campaign because this movie's probably going to cost me a few $1 million. And how about I crowdfund this thing? You come on board. I don't know who the hell you would play. I have no idea. But you come on board, and a perk is Sydney Sweeney bathwater. Okay, yeah, let's do that. Okay, Dave, that sounds like a good idea. Great. Sydney Sweeney bathwater. And it's part of the... But what does it have to do with your movie? Nothing. Absolutely, unequivocally, zero. Sydney Sweeney bathwater. Come on, folks. Come on. Josh follows up with, thank you, Josh. Appreciate that. Says they're splitting the Stranger Things into volumes, and the finale on New Year's. They are dragging it out. I think it will be 250 years old by the time Stranger Things ends at this point. Yeah, no, it's true. It's funny. I don't know why. I guess they just want a block of 5 years or 4 years. The show began in the timeline, in the narrative of the show, it starts in the fall of 1983. And this new season is in 1987. That's only 4 years. So think of how much the kids have grown and how much has happened in just 4 years. Like, why not make it make it 88? It's still the 80s. Make it 89. Make the kids 17. I mean, you're telling me that the kids are 16? The kids in season 5 are 16? Well, they have to be, because in season 1, they were like 12 playing Dungeons and Dragons. So that would mean that in 1987, these are 16-year-old kids. Hey, what's going on, Mom? Like, these are college kids, man. And so if it was me, I would have recommended, is there a reason why we have to make it 1987? Is it because you started 3 years into the decade and you want to end 3 years before the end of the decade? So you're using like the chunk of the 80s, so it really feels like the heart of the 80s. Okay, but let's maybe make 87 1988, so that pushes everybody to 17. Hey, listen, that one extra year in there can make all the difference at that age, right? And so I could look at them and go, 17, yeah, okay. But what? Millie Bobby Brown, I think she was like 11, and what, she's 15? She's supposed to be 15? Listen, I will say they don't look that bad. They do look older than they're supposed to be. But I will suspend my disbelief and go, okay, sure. They're just those teenagers that are had made massive growth spurts. But it's funny stuff. All right, another 7 minutes and then we will call it a night. Have I missed anything? Let me see. Have I missed anything? I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Just want to make sure. Okay, let me do that. I have all these tabs open here. It's amazing. You get your life back when you close all these tabs. Scared Straight Production says, Dave, there's a rumored to be a time jump in the new season. What if they go into the 90s or early 2000s? Well, A, where's this rumor coming from? Because I read the plot synopsis and it says 1987. Like the actual, it says it's 1987. So what you're saying is that maybe it starts in 1987 and goes to the 90s? I don't believe it. Because this show is centered around, like, it's an 80s show. So I think that I don't believe. I mean, maybe there's something that happens, but I don't think we're going to jump into the future where then all of a sudden, like, the last half of the season takes place in 1994 or something. No, I think it's just 1987, like how season 4 was 1986. And I remember thinking, okay, I guess, the kids look kind of old for being 14. I mean, think about that. In season 4, if the kids, think about this. Season 4 is 1983. Blah, blah, scratch that. Season 1 is 1983. Season 4 is 1986. That's 3 years. So if the kids were 12, they're 15? 11's like 14? What? Did I get that wrong? 15? I think I was going based on, I thought they were 11. In season 5, they'll all be 16. But yeah, push it to 17. Anyways, I'm forgetting what the hell I'm saying here now. Carl Weidman sends in $5. Thank you, Carl. Says, each season of Stranger Things should have had a different group of kids, a different location, a different supernatural plot. Yeah, well, that was the original idea. I will say I think they made the right choice. I think had Stranger Things not been the cultural phenomenon that it was, people have to remember, people are going to look back. Now, I mean, I was already 36 when the first one came out. But people will look back at Stranger Things in 20, 30 years from now, the way people my age look back at, Back to the Future or some big pop culture thing. And I will look back at Stranger Things in the same way too. I'm just saying kids like who grew up with it, it became part of the cultural zeitgeist. Stranger Things is iconic, right? It's become part of the lexicon, part of the pop culture zeitgeist. And so had Stranger Things, the first season, not done that, had it just been, oh, this is cool. It's a cool little TV show set in the 80s. Like, had it been like The Summer of 1984, that movie, right? Had it been like that, then I think the transition to a season 2 with a new set of kids, we might have seen that. But Stranger Things was way more successful than they ever dreamed of. It was a cultural phenomenon. And so people were emotionally attached to this story of these kids. And so from a business perspective, they thought, is there a way we could bring these kids back? Like, I know we were going to do this, but like, this is just, we want to continue to ride this. So I do think they made the right choice. Had it been received well, but not like something crazy, just something, then we might have seen a different set of kids. You know what I mean? But it was too big. It was too big. It was ginormous. I mean, it is arguably one of the big properties that was the cause ushering in the era of nostalgia, of 80s nostalgia. Because of Stranger Things, you got The Summer of 1984. You got Fear Street. You got all these other movies or whatever, these films like what's that one, the slasher movie, like it's Back to the Future meets whatever. Like all these other movies or all these other films trying to be 80s or trying to, like, it's because of Stranger Things. It was huge. It was a ginormous juggernaut. And so, yeah, no, they made the right choice. But it would have been interesting to see that. Thank you, Carl. Appreciate that. Thank you. All right. I think I've got everything. I think so. Anyway, I don't think empty bottle of water fell off. I don't think I'm missing any. Let me just quickly go back over here and make sure I'm not. I am not. That's good. And Totally Killer. That's it. Thank you, Tone. Totally Killer. So that same thing. Like a lot of these things that you're seeing, again, there's way more out there than I know, but even the new Fear Street one, right? The new one, right? I mean, you wouldn't like, it's suddenly nostalgia. It's not that there weren't nostalgic movies or things before Stranger Things. Of course there were. But Stranger Things just took it to a whole new level and tapped into a zeitgeist and a certain generation of, aging 80s kids and teens that were now in their, 30s and 40s at that time, who are now in their 40s and 50s now, who remember the 80s. It tapped into our hearts and our, like, oh my God, He-Man lunchbox. Oh my God, He-Man on the TV. Oh, this is like me sitting in my basement in 1986 watching. I mean, it's just, they didn't want to give that up. Oh, we're tapping in nostalgia, baby. Money. I mean, they just were like, oh yeah, baby, come on. You're going to fucking do a lot of these things, man. 80s. Ow, hee, hoo. I mean, they just were like, we're going to fucking milk this like it's nobody's business. And that's what they've done, and so that's what it is, folks. That's what it is. All right, folks, listen, that is going to do it for me here on episode 335 of McRae Live. I want to thank the super chats that came in, well, except for that one, come on. What are you, 6? Probably. And then the member chats, of course, my moderators. Thank you so much for doing what you guys do. I really, really appreciate it. And listen, if you're watching after the fact, jump into the comment section. Let me know your thoughts on anything I had to say here today. But of course, specifically about the show topic, one's got to go. One has got to go. What are your horror movies? Your horror movie list where one has got to go. Put it in the comment section below and let others chime in. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in tonight, folks. I hope you have a great rest of your Tuesday. Stay safe out there, and I will talk to you all very, very soon. In the meantime and in between time, I will talk to you soon. Cheers.